Marcus Chen wiped the grease from his hands and stared at the broken engine core. Another 12-hour shift at the repair docks of Nexus Station was finally over. He was tired, hungry, and wanted nothing more than to return to his small quarters and sleep. "Marcus, wait up!" A voice clicked and buzzed behind him. He turned to see Kellex scuttling toward him on 6 legs. The Varaxian engineer was his closest thing to a friend on this massive space station. Her insect-like body gleamed under the harsh lights of the docking bay. "What is it, Kellex?" "I'm exhausted," Marcus said. I know. But listen, my friend Saritha wants to meet you. I told her about you and she thinks you sound interesting." Kellex's mandibles clicked excitedly. Marcus felt his stomach drop. "You're trying to set me up on a date?" "Yes, you need to get out more. You work, you sleep, you work again. That's no life, Marcus." He wanted to refuse. Dating was the last thing on his mind. But Kellex looked so hopeful and Marcus knew she was right. He had been alone for too long. Ever since Earth died 15 years ago, he had been drifting through life like a ghost. "Fine," he sighed. "One date. But if it goes badly, you owe me a week's worth of synthetic coffee." Kellex's antennae perked up with joy. "Deal. Tonight, 8 o'clock at the Prismatic Gardens. You'll love Saritha. She's a Luminar, very kind and gentle." That evening, Marcus stood outside the Prismatic Gardens restaurant. He had showered and put on his only clean shirt. The Biodome restaurant was famous across the station for its collection of plants from 100 different worlds. Through the transparent walls, he could see colors he didn't have names for. Saritha was already waiting at a table. She was beautiful in a way Marcus wasn't used to. Her skin glowed with a soft blue light, and her eyes were large and dark like deep ocean water. She smiled when she saw him. "You must be Marcus. Kellex has told me so much about you," she said. Her voice sounded like water flowing over stones. "All good things, I hope." Marcus sat down across from her. They ordered food. Saritha asked him about Earth, and Marcus tried to answer without letting the pain show. He told her about blue skies and real trees, about oceans that stretched to the horizon. She listened carefully, and he appreciated that she didn't offer empty sympathy. "What's it like being the only human on the station?" she asked. Marcus thought about it. "Lonely. Everyone else has their people, their culture, their homeworlds. I'm just the last of something that doesn't exist anymore." Saritha reached across the table and her glowing hand almost touched his. "You're not the last. There are other humans scattered across the galaxy. A few thousand, maybe, out of billions." Marcus looked down at his plate. That's when he heard it. A voice in his mind, small and desperate. "Help. It hurts. I'm alone." Marcus jerked upright, looking around wildly. The other diners continued eating, talking, and laughing. No one else seemed to hear anything. "Marcus, are you okay?" Saritha's glow dimmed with concern. "Did you hear that?" he asked. "Hear what?" The voice came again, clearer this time. It sounded young and terrified. "Please, they're going to kill me. Help me." Marcus stood up so fast his chair fell backward. "I'm sorry, I have to go. I hear something. Someone needs help." "What?" "Marcus, wait!" Saritha called after him, but he was already running. The voice pulled him through the station like an invisible thread. He followed it down through the commercial levels, past the markets and living quarters, deeper into the cargo sections. His heart pounded in his chest. The voice grew stronger with every step. "This way, please. I'm here." Marcus found himself in front of a secured cargo bay. The door had a corporate logo he recognized, the Draconis Consortium. They were one of the biggest companies in known space, dealing in genetics and biotech. Through a small viewing port in the door, Marcus pressed his face against the glass and looked inside. What he saw made him forget to breathe. In the center of the cargo bay, suspended in a glowing containment field, was a creature he had only seen in ancient alien texts. It was small, no bigger than a cat, but its shape was unmistakable. 4 legs, wings folded against its body, a long tail and a head with intelligent eyes. Its scales shimmered with colors that shifted from blue to purple to gold. A dragon. The creature's eyes locked onto Marcus's. They were ancient eyes, eyes that had seen things Marcus couldn't imagine. And they were filled with terror. You can hear me," the voice whispered in his mind. "You're human. Only you can hear me." Before Marcus could respond, a heavy hand grabbed his shoulder and spun him around. A security guard, a massive Corthian with gray stone-like skin, glared down at him. "What are you doing here?" "This is a restricted area," the guard growled. I was lost. "I'm sorry," Marcus stammered. The guard dragged him to a terminal and scanned his ID chip. Marcus Chen, human, works in Repair Bay 12. You're way off course, human. I said I was sorry. I'll leave now. Not before you hear this, the guard pulled Marcus closer. That thing in there? It's worth more money than you'll make in 10 lifetimes. The consortium found it in deep space, last of its kind. They're going to study it, take it apart piece by piece to unlock its genetic code. So whatever you think you saw, forget about it. And if you come back here, you won't just get a warning. The guard shoved Marcus toward the exit. As he stumbled away, the voice cried out in his mind one more time, "Don't leave me, please. You're the only one who can hear me. You're the only one who can save me." Marcus kept walking, his mind spinning. Back in the upper levels, he found Saritha waiting outside the prismatic gardens. She looked worried. "Marcus, what happened? You just ran off. I'm sorry. I can't explain it. I heard something, someone calling for help. Did you find them?" Marcus thought about the small dragon trapped in that containment field, alone and terrified. He thought about its voice in his mind, a connection he didn't understand. "No," he lied. "I couldn't find anything." But even as he said it, he knew he was going to go back. He didn't know how or when, but he couldn't leave that creature to die. Something had connected them, something impossible. In 15 years of being alone in the galaxy, Marcus had never felt a bond like this. That night he lay in his bed and couldn't sleep. The dragon's voice echoed in his thoughts. "Only you can hear me." Marcus stared at the ceiling of his quarters. Tomorrow he would figure out what that creature was and why it could speak to his mind. Tomorrow he would find a way to help it. For the first time since Earth died, Marcus Chen had a purpose, and he wasn't going to let it go. Marcus didn't go to work the next day. Instead, he sat at his computer terminal and searched for information about dragons. The station's database had very little. Most of it was listed under Dracony and marked as historical mythology. According to the files, the Dracony were the first intelligent beings in the galaxy. They existed millions of years ago, long before any of the current species evolved. They could travel through space without ships, could live for thousands of years, and possessed abilities that seemed like magic. But they disappeared suddenly and no one knew why. Most species thought they were just legends, stories told to explain ancient ruins and artifacts. But Marcus had seen one with his own eyes, and it had spoken to him. He dug deeper into the restricted files, using some password tricks Kellex had taught him. That's when he found something interesting, a banned research paper from 300 years ago. The title made his hands shake. Human Neural Compatibility with Ancient Dracony Consciousness. Marcus read it 3 times to make sure he understood. The paper said that humans had something unique in their brains. A flexibility, an ability to connect with other minds in ways that other species couldn't. The researcher believed that humans could bond with Draconi telepathically, but the paper was banned by the Galactic Council, and the researcher disappeared. "That's why I can hear her," Marcus whispered to himself. Her. He didn't know why, but he knew the dragon was female. He could feel it through their strange connection. Marcus heard her voice again in his mind. It was weaker now, tired, hungry, cold. "Please." He gripped the edge of his desk. He had to do something, but what? He was one human against the most powerful corporation in the galaxy. He couldn't just walk in and steal her. Or could he? Marcus thought about it. He would need help. He would need a plan. And he would need to act fast before the consortium started their experiments. He called Kellex first. "Marcus, where are you?" "You missed your shift," she buzzed through the communicator. "Kellex, I need your help, and I'm sorry about running out on Saritha yesterday." "It's okay. She's worried about you." "What's going on?" Marcus took a deep breath. "I need you to trust me. Can you come to my quarters? And bring Saritha if she's willing. I'll explain everything." An hour later, Kellex and Saritha sat in his small room. Marcus told them everything. About the voice, the dragon, the connection he felt. He showed them the research paper. Kellex's antennae twitched nervously. "Marcus, do you know what you're saying? If the consortium really has a dracony and if you're bonded to it, I know it sounds crazy, but I heard her. She's real and she's dying." Saritha's glow brightened. "I believe you. My people have old stories about the dracony. They say the dragons gave life to the oceans on our world. If one is alive, we have to save her. But how?" Kellex asked. "The consortium has security, weapons, and the law on their side. Marcus pulled up a station map on his screen. The Festival of Lights is in 2 days. The whole station will be celebrating. Security will be stretched thin. If we move during the festival, we might have a chance. We'll need more help, Kellic said. I know someone, Marcus replied. A pilot named Rix. He owes me a favor. Rix was a Korthian, the same species as the guard who had caught Marcus. But unlike most Korthians, Rix had a sense of humor and a flexible moral code. He ran a small cargo ship and did jobs that weren't always legal. Marcus found him at a bar in the lower levels. Marcus Chen, I heard you've been getting into trouble. Rix laughed, his stone-like face cracking into a smile. I need a ship, and a pilot who won't ask too many questions. Rix's smile faded. That kind of favor? What are you stealing? I'm not stealing. I'm rescuing. Marcus told him about the dragon. Rix listened, his expression getting more serious. The Draconis Consortium? Marcus, they'll kill you for this. Then I'll die for a good reason. Are you in or not? You said you owed me. Rix was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. I'm in. But only because I hate the consortium. They killed my brother for getting in their way. If I can hurt them, I will. Over the next 2 days, Marcus barely slept. He planned every detail with his team. Kellic would hack the security systems. Saritha would create a distraction using biological compounds from her lab. Rix would have his ship ready at Docking Bay 7, and Marcus would get the dragon out. But every night he felt the dragon's presence in his mind growing stronger. She shared images with him. He saw her memories. A vast civilization of dragons flying through space. Beautiful cities made of light and crystal. And then he saw the end, a great darkness that swallowed everything. The Draconi sacrificing themselves to stop it. I am Oralis, her voice told him. Last daughter of the last queen. My mother hid my egg in time itself to save me. But I woke alone. So alone. I'm coming for you, Oralis, Marcus thought back. Just hold on. I know, she replied. I can feel your determination. It burns like a star. You humans. You're so small, so brief. But your spirits are like fire. The night before the rescue, Marcus couldn't sleep. He stood at his window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Earth's ashes still drifted through space. His whole species, billions of people, gone in an instant. He had been powerless to save them. But he could save Oralis. His communicator buzzed. It was Saritha. Marcus, are you awake? Yeah, can I come over? She arrived a few minutes later, her glow soft and gentle in the darkness of his room. I'm scared, she admitted. What we're doing tomorrow? It's dangerous, I know. You don't have to come. I won't blame you. No, I want to help. It's just... She sat down beside him. Kellic told me about Earth, about how you lost everything. I can't imagine that pain. And now you're risking your life for a creature you just met. Marcus thought about it. Maybe that's why. Because I couldn't save my world, but I can save her. Because for the first time since Earth died, I feel like I matter. Like I'm not just surviving, I'm living. Saritha took his hand. Her skin was cool and smooth. You matter, Marcus. You always mattered. The next evening, the Festival of Lights began. The entire station transformed into a sea of colors and sounds. Every species celebrated in their own way, and the corridors were packed with people. Marcus and his team moved through the crowds. They were all wearing simple clothes, trying to blend in. Marcus's heart hammered in his chest. Kellic, are you in position? He whispered into his communicator. Yes, I'm in the security hub. Give me 5 minutes to create a loop in their cameras. Marcus watched the crowd, counting down the seconds. In his mind, he felt Oralis wake up. She sensed him coming. Soon, he thought to her. Very soon. I'm ready, she replied. Whatever happens, thank you. Thank you for hearing me when no one else could. Kellic's voice crackled in his ear. You're clear. Go now, Marcus ran. Marcus's maintenance uniform got him past the first checkpoint. The guards were distracted by the festival celebrations happening throughout the station. He moved quickly through the corridors, heading toward the cargo bay where Oralis was being held. Security loop is holding, Kellic reported through his earpiece. But you only have 10 minutes before they notice something's wrong. Understood, Marcus whispered back. He reached the cargo bay door and pulled out the access card he had stolen days ago. His hand shook as he swiped it. The door made a soft beeping sound and opened. Inside, the cargo bay was cold and filled with medical equipment. In the center of the room, Oralis hung suspended in her containment field. She looked even smaller than Marcus remembered, her scales dim and lifeless. But when she saw him, her eyes brightened. You came. Her voice filled his mind with warmth. I promised, didn't I? Marcus ran to the control panel and started working on shutting down the containment field. That's when everything changed. The moment Marcus touched the controls, his mind exploded with images and feelings. He saw through Auralis's eyes. He felt her ancient memories. 10,000 years of knowledge flooded into his brain in seconds. He saw the Draconi at their peak, magnificent beings who shaped reality itself. He saw them discover the Void Eaters, creatures from dark space that consumed life and light. He saw the Great War and the terrible sacrifice. The Draconi had locked the Void Eaters away, but it cost them everything. They poured their life force into a cosmic seal, and one by one they faded away. But they left behind a prophecy. When new children rose from the ashes of dead worlds, the bond would be reborn, and what was lost would be found again. Earth, the humans, it was all connected. Marcus gasped and fell to his knees. What? What was that? Our bond is forming, Auralis said softly. When you free me, it will be complete. We will be connected forever, Marcus Chen. Are you ready for that? Marcus looked up at her. This small creature held the weight of ancient civilizations in her heart. And she had chosen him. Yes, he said. I'm ready. He entered the final command, and the containment field collapsed. Auralis fell and Marcus caught her. She was surprisingly light, her body warm in his arms. The moment they touched, something fundamental shifted in the universe. Marcus felt it. Their minds merged completely. He could feel her exhaustion, her pain, her hope, and she could feel his determination, his loneliness, his stubborn refusal to give up. The bond is complete, Auralis whispered. We are one now. Time to go. Kelix's voice shouted through the communicator. Someone triggered the alarm. They know you're there. Marcus heard running footsteps outside. He looked around desperately for another exit, but there was only the main door. Saritha, we need that distraction now, he called. Already done, Saritha replied. I released the spores in the cargo sector. It should cause some confusion. The door burst open. Guards flooded in, weapons raised. But they weren't ordinary guards. Leading them was a tall woman in an expensive suit. Her species was Centauri, with silver skin and 3 eyes. Her face was cold and calculating. Stop right there, she said calmly. I am Director Vex of the Draconis Consortium, and you are stealing extremely valuable property. She's not property. She's alive. She's intelligent. Marcus held Auralis closer. Vex smiled, but it wasn't friendly. How interesting. The dragon has bonded with you. I didn't think that was possible anymore. This makes you even more valuable to us. Guards, take them both alive. The human and the dragon together will provide fascinating research data. The guards moved forward. Marcus backed up against the wall. There was nowhere to run. Then Auralis spoke in his mind.
Marcus, trust me.
Let go of your fear. What are you going to do? We are going to do something together. Something that hasn't been done in 10,000 years. A dragon and a human bonded as one. We are going to show them why the Draconi chose your species. Power surged through Marcus. It came from Auralis, but it flowed through him, amplified by his human spirit. His perception expanded outward. He could see everything in the room at once. He could sense the probability of events before they happened. Marcus raised his hand without thinking. Energy crackled around his fingers. Impossible, Vex whispered. The energy burst outward in a wave. Every electronic device in the cargo bay died instantly. Lights, weapons, communicators, even the tracking chips in the guards' uniforms. Everything went dark. In the confusion, Marcus ran. He carried Auralis in his arms, and somehow he could see perfectly in the darkness. He dodged guards, jumped over equipment, and burst out into the corridor. What did you do? Kelix's voice crackled back online. Every system in that sector just died. No time to explain. Where's Rix? Docking Bay 7, but you'll never make it. The whole security force is mobilizing. Marcus ran anyway. Auralis directed him through the station using their bond. She could sense danger before it arrived. Together they moved like water, flowing around obstacles. But the consortium was everywhere. Marcus could hear Director Vex's voice over the station's communication system. Attention all security personnel. The human Marcus Chen has stolen critical research property. He is extremely dangerous. Capture him alive if possible, but do not let him leave the station. They reached the market level where Saritha had released her spores. Aliens were running everywhere, coughing and confused. The spores weren't harmful, but they smelled terrible and made people's eyes water. Marcus pushed through the crowd. He could see the entrance to the docking bays ahead. A blast of energy hit the wall next to his head. Marcus ducked and rolled. Consortium security was firing at him. They were using non-lethal weapons, but getting hit would still knock him out. "Rix, we need you now," Marcus shouted into his communicator. "On my way. Get to the docking collar." Marcus ran faster than he had ever run before. Oralis pulsed power through their bond, giving him strength. He felt like he could run forever. They burst into docking bay 7. Rix's ship was there, engines already warming up. The Corthian pilot stood at the loading ramp, waving frantically. "Come on!" Marcus sprinted toward the ship. Behind him, dozens of guards poured into the docking bay. Energy blasts filled the air. Kellex appeared from behind a stack of cargo containers. She fired a tool gun she had modified to shoot electrical charges. It wasn't much, but it slowed the guards down. "Go. I'll hold them off," she shouted. "Not without you." Marcus grabbed her with his free arm and dragged her toward the ship. They all scrambled up the ramp. Rix hit the controls and the ramp started closing. Through the gap, Marcus could see Director Vex arrive in the docking bay. She looked directly at him, and her 3 eyes blazed with cold fury. "You've made an enemy of the most powerful organization in the galaxy, human." Her voice echoed through the bay. "We control 70 systems. We have infinite resources. We will find you. And when we do, we will take that dragon apart piece by piece, and we will study what's left of your melted brain." The ramp sealed shut. Rix fired the engines, and the ship launched into space. As they jumped to hyperspace, Marcus finally let himself relax. He looked down at Oralis in his arms. She was already looking healthier, her scales starting to shine again. "We made it," he whispered. "We did," she replied. But she was right about one thing. "They will hunt us, and there is much you need to know about what's coming." Marcus sat down, suddenly exhausted. Kellex was checking her equipment. Rix was focused on flying, and in his arms a creature from the dawn of time looked up at him with ancient, grateful eyes. His life had changed forever, and somehow Marcus knew this was just the beginning. Rix's ship jumped out of hyperspace near a forgotten mining colony called Rusthaven. The place was old, abandoned decades ago when the minerals ran out. Now it was home to smugglers, refugees, and people who wanted to disappear. "We should be safe here for a while," Rix said, landing the ship in one of the old hangars. "The consortium doesn't bother with places like this." Marcus carried Oralis down the ramp. She was growing already. In just the few hours since the rescue, she had doubled in size. She was now as large as a medium dog, and her scales gleamed with inner light. "I can walk," she said out loud. Everyone stopped and stared. It was the first time Oralis had spoken with her actual voice instead of using telepathy. Her voice was melodic and clear like crystal bells. "You can talk?" Kellex's antennae twitched in surprise. "The bond with Marcus has accelerated my growth," Oralis explained, stretching her wings for the first time. "I am healing, becoming what I was meant to be." Over the next few days, they set up a base in the abandoned colony. More people started arriving. Word had spread through underground channels about the human who had bonded with a dragon and defied the consortium. Kellex's entire family came, grateful to her for being part of something important. Saritha brought supplies and equipment from her lab. Others arrived too. Refugees from species the consortium had exploited. Former employees who had seen too much and wanted out. Idealists who believed the galaxy needed to change. Rusthaven slowly transformed from a ghost town into a hidden sanctuary. But Marcus was distracted. Every night, Oralis shared more memories with him through their bond. She showed him the truth about what was coming, and it terrified him. One night, Marcus called a meeting. Everyone gathered in the main hangar. Oralis stood beside him, now the size of a pony. Her presence commanded attention. "I need to tell you all something," Marcus began, "about why the consortium wanted Oralis. About what's really happening in the galaxy." He told them everything Oralis had shown him, about the Void Eaters, creatures from dark space that fed on life itself, about how the Draconi had sacrificed themselves to seal the Void Eaters away, about how the seal was failing. "Earth's destruction wasn't an accident," Marcus said quietly. "It was a warning. The Void Eaters are waking up. Small breaches in the seal are already happening, and when they fully break free, they will consume everything." The room erupted in shocked voices. Some people didn't believe him. Others looked scared. "Why didn't anyone tell us?" Saritha asked. The consortium knows. Oralis spoke, her voice cutting through the noise. They have known for years. They found ancient Draconi records that explained everything, but they decided to keep it secret. Why would they do that? Kellex asked. Because chaos means profit, Rix growled. If the galaxy falls apart, whoever controls the resources becomes the most powerful force left. Exactly, Oralis nodded. Director Vex and others in the consortium leadership are part of a cult called the Children of Entropy. They want the Void Eaters to break free. They believe they can survive the destruction and rule what's left. Marcus clenched his fists. We have to stop them. We have to fix the seal. But how? Someone in the crowd asked. We're just refugees and criminals. What can we do against cosmic forces? Oralis looked at Marcus and he felt her warmth in his mind. Tell them why the Draconi chose humans. Tell them what makes you special. Marcus took a deep breath. Oralis told me something. The Draconi tested thousands of species over millions of years. They wanted to find someone who could bond with them, someone who could help maintain the cosmic seal. But no one was compatible. He paused, looking at the faces around him. Until humans. We're not the strongest species. We're not the smartest or the longest lived. But we have something unique. We can adapt to anything. We can form connections across any boundary. We can hope even when there's no logical reason to hope. And that's what the Draconi needed. The seal requires more than power, Oralis explained. It requires the ability to hold multiple contradictions in your mind at once. To be logical and emotional. To be practical and idealistic. To accept death while fighting for life. Humans can do this. Your minds are flexible in ways other species are not. Over the following weeks, Marcus trained with Oralis.
She taught him to use their bond properly.
He learned to channel energy, to perceive across time and space, to touch the fabric of reality itself. It was exhausting. Marcus would train until he collapsed, then get up and train more. But with each session, he grew stronger. The bond deepened. One evening, Saritha found Marcus sitting alone on a cliff overlooking the dead mining operations. You're pushing yourself too hard, she said, sitting beside him. I have to. If I'm not strong enough, everyone dies. You're not alone in this, Marcus. We're all here to help. Marcus looked at her. Why did you stay? You could have gone back to your life on the station. Saritha's glow brightened in the darkness. Because you showed me something I had forgotten. That one person can make a difference. That doing the right thing matters, even when it's hard. My people have a saying. The ocean is made of single drops. You're one drop, Marcus. But you started a wave. She took his hand and Marcus felt something warm spread through his chest. It wasn't the bond with Oralis. It was something simpler and just as powerful. Connection, friendship, maybe even love. Thank you, he said quietly. Oralis's voice spoke in his mind. She's right, you know. And there's something else I need to tell you. What is it? I'm not the only one. Before my mother died, she hid 3 eggs using time dilation fields. They're scattered across space waiting to be found. If we can retrieve them and find compatible humans to bond with the hatchlings, we'll have a chance. 3 bonded pairs might be enough to restore the seal. Marcus stood up quickly. Where are they? That's the problem. They're in the most dangerous places imaginable. And the consortium is looking for them too. It will be a race. The next morning, Marcus called another meeting. He told everyone about the eggs and what they needed to do. This is insane, Rick said, but he was grinning. I'm in. So am I, Kellex added. One by one, everyone in the growing resistance agreed. They would find the eggs. They would stop the consortium. They would save the galaxy. But that night, as Marcus lay in his bunk, he felt doubt creeping in. What if they failed? What if he wasn't strong enough? Oralis's presence wrapped around his mind like a warm blanket. You're thinking too much. I can't help it. Everyone is depending on us. They're depending on us together. Not just you. Remember what makes humans special. You don't have to be strong alone. You build strength through connection. Marcus thought about that. About Kellex and her family. About Saritha and her kindness. About Rix and his loyalty. About all the people who had come to Rusthaven because they believed in something better. You're right, he said. I usually am, Oralis replied with what Marcus could have sworn was amusement. Now sleep. Tomorrow we hunt for the first egg. Marcus closed his eyes. For the first time since Earth died, he felt like he belonged to something. He had a family again. A strange mixed-species family of misfits and dreamers. but it was enough. In the darkness, Oralis hummed a song from the ancient past. It was a lullaby the Draconi had sung to their young, a melody that spoke of stars being born and galaxies turning. Marcus listened and let himself drift into sleep. Tomorrow would bring new dangers, but tonight he was home. The first egg was hidden inside a collapsing star. Marcus stood on the bridge of Rix's modified ship, staring at the swirling vortex of fire on the screen. No ship could survive getting close to that. "This is impossible," Rix said flatly. "Nothing is impossible," Oralis replied. She was now the size of a horse, her scales blazing with inner light. "Marcus and I will go together. Our bond can protect us. You'll die," Kellex protested. Marcus felt calm despite the danger. Through his bond with Oralis, he could sense the egg calling to them. It was there, suspended in time, waiting. "We won't die," he said. "I can feel it." "We're meant to do this." Oralis transformed into pure energy and merged with Marcus. He gasped as power filled every cell of his body. Together, they were more than human, more than dragon. They were something new. Marcus stepped into the airlock. The ship couldn't go closer, but he could. He pushed off into space, protected by a bubble of energy that Oralis created. The heat should have killed him instantly, but it didn't. Instead, he felt the energy of the star flowing around him, through him. "This is what humans can do," Oralis whispered in his mind. "You adapt to the impossible. You survive what should kill you. You refuse to accept limits." Marcus reached into the heart of the star and pulled out the egg. It was warm, pulsing with life. The moment he touched it, he knew there was a baby dragon inside, dreaming of the universe. When he returned to the ship, everyone stared at him in awe. "You just walked into a star," Rick said. "That's the most insane thing I've ever seen." Marcus smiled and handed the egg to Kellex. "One down, 2 to go." The second egg was easier but more emotional. It was hidden on a dead world, protected by ancient Draconi artificial intelligence. The AI tested Marcus, asking him questions about his worthiness. "Why should I give you this egg, human? Your species is young and violent. You destroy your own worlds." Marcus thought about Earth, about all the mistakes humanity had made. "You're right. We're not perfect. We make terrible mistakes. But we also learn. We grow. We care. The Draconi chose us not because we're perfect, but because we try to be better. Isn't that what matters?" The AI was silent for a long moment. Then the protective field around the egg dissolved. "You are wise for one so young. Perhaps the Draconi saw truly. Take the egg. May you prove worthy of their faith." 2 eggs now sat in their makeshift base on Rusthaven. They needed one more. But Oralis's expression was troubled when she told them where it was. "The third egg is on Nexus Station, hidden in plain sight where I was captured. My mother placed it there because she knew the station would last. But now the consortium controls the station. Going back is walking into a trap." "Then we make a better trap," Marcus said. "We take back the station." It sounded crazy, but word of their victories had spread. More ships arrived at Rusthaven every day. People who had heard about the human and the dragon. People who wanted to fight back against the consortium's tyranny. They had an army now, small but determined. Director Vex sent a message to Marcus through public channels. Her face appeared on every screen across the station. "Marcus Chen, you cannot hide forever. Surrender the dragon and the eggs. In exchange, I will allow you and your followers to live. Refuse and I will hunt down every human in the galaxy. Your species will be extinct within a year." Marcus felt rage boil in his chest, but Saritha put a hand on his shoulder. "Don't let her manipulate you. She's scared. That's why she's threatening you." "Saritha's right," Oralis said. "Vex knows we're getting stronger. She's trying to provoke us into making a mistake." Marcus took a deep breath and made his own message. He sent it across every communication channel in the galaxy. "My name is Marcus Chen. I'm the last human on Nexus Station. But I'm not alone anymore. I'm bonded with Oralis, daughter of the last Draconi Queen. The consortium has been lying to you. They know the Void Eaters are waking. They know the galaxy is in danger. And they're doing nothing because they want to profit from the chaos. We're going to stop them. We're going to restore the ancient seal and save everyone. Join us if you believe the future is worth fighting for." The response was overwhelming. Dozens of ships declared their support. Even some consortium employees defected, bringing information about Vex's plans. The battle for Nexus Station began 3 days later. Rix led the fleet. Ships of every design and species converged on the station. The consortium's security forces fought back, but they were outnumbered. People on the station itself rose up in rebellion. Kellex and her family hacked into every system, opening doors and shutting down weapons. Marcus and Oralis flew straight to the cargo bay where they had first met. Vex was waiting for them with an army of guards. "You should have taken my offer," Vex said coldly. She held a weapon Marcus had never seen before. It glowed with dark energy. "This is a Dracony binding artifact. It can sever your bond and kill you both." "Then why are you talking?" Marcus asked. "If you could have killed us, you would have already." Vex's face twisted with anger. "Because I want you to understand. The Void Eaters are inevitable. The old seal cannot hold. But if we let them consume the weaker species, the strongest will survive. We can rebuild. We can create a better galaxy. By killing billions." Oralis's voice rang out. "That's not strength. That's cowardice. You would choose to save them? These lesser beings?" Vex raised the weapon. Marcus felt Oralis surge with power in his mind. But he held her back. "Wait," he whispered. Then he looked at Vex. "I'm going to give you a choice. The same choice someone gave me. You can keep fighting for death and entropy, or you can choose to help us build something better." "What will it be?" Vex hesitated. For a moment, Marcus saw something in her eyes. Fear, loneliness, pain. But then she fired the weapon. The dark energy hit Marcus in the chest. Agony exploded through his body and mind. He felt the bond with Oralis tearing apart. He screamed. But then something unexpected happened. The bond didn't break. Instead, it blazed brighter. Every human who had ever shown Marcus kindness, every connection he had made since Earth died, every friendship and hope and dream, they all fed into the bond. Saritha's compassion, Kellex's loyalty, Rix's courage, the faith of everyone who had believed in him. Humans didn't survive alone. They survived together. The dark energy shattered. The weapon exploded in Vex's hands and she fell. Marcus stumbled forward and caught her before she hit the ground. "I'm sorry you couldn't see another way," he said gently. Vex looked up at him, confused and dying. Why do you care?" "Because caring is what makes us human." The consortium fell that day. Its leadership scattered or surrendered. The truth about the Void Eaters spread across the galaxy. People were scared. But they were also united for the first time in history. Marcus found the third egg exactly where Oralis said it would be. Hidden in a maintenance tunnel protected by time itself. Now they had all 3 eggs. And Marcus knew 2 other humans who were perfect for the bond. A young woman named Kira, who had lost everything but never lost hope. And an old man named Chen who had spent his life trying to connect different species in peace. The eggs hatched in a ceremony attended by thousands. The baby dragons chose their humans and new bonds formed. Marcus felt it through Oralis. 3 pairs, connected by purpose. They traveled to the edge of reality, to where the ancient seal held back the darkness. The Void Eaters pressed against it, hungry and patient. "Are you ready?" Oralis asked. Marcus looked at his companions. Kira and her dragon blazing with fierce determination. Chen and his dragon radiating calm wisdom. Saritha standing beside him, glowing with pride. All his friends watching from their ships. "Yes," he said. "Let's save the galaxy." The 3 bonded pairs joined together. Human stubbornness and dragon power merged into something the universe had never seen. They poured their combined strength into the seal, reinforcing it, making it stronger than it had ever been. The Dracony had needed hundreds of bonded pairs to maintain the seal. But 3 human-dragon pairs were enough. Because humans could hold contradictions in their hearts. They could be afraid and brave at the same time. They could accept impossible odds while refusing to give up. They could love deeply even when loss was certain. The seal reformed, blazing with new light. The Void Eaters retreated, sealed away for another age. Marcus opened his eyes and found himself back on Rust Haven. Months had passed, but it felt like minutes. The colony had transformed into a real city, the first human settlement since Earth. People called it New Terra. Oralis stood beside him, now fully grown. She was magnificent, her scales shining like captured starlight. "We did it," she said. "We did," Marcus agreed. Saritha approached, her glow warm and happy. "The Galactic Council wants to meet with you. They want humans to have a seat. They want to learn from us," Marcus laughed. "A few months ago I was just a mechanic. Nobody special." "You were always special," Oralis said. "You just needed to hear the right voice to remember it." That night Marcus stood on a hill overlooking New Terra. The baby dragons played with human children in the distance. Ships from 100 species came and went, bringing supplies and friendship. The galaxy had changed forever. He felt Oralis settle beside him, her enormous head resting gently on his shoulder. "What are you thinking?" she asked. "I'm thinking about that blind date, about how everything changed because I heard a whisper and decided to listen."